Sure, I want to go now to Senator Bill Nelson in Tampa. Senator, you were just briefed at CENTCOM. I appreciate you being with us. What did you learn about the strikes thus far?
General Austin and his staff have a plan. They're executing it well, but don't be fooled. This is going to take a long, long time. The success against ISIS is going to depend on coalition partners, and just as in your previous segment, the Iraqi army's got to step up. They can't turn tail and run.
And we've just seen, I mean, as you mentioned, ISIS overran an Iraqi base in western Anbar province around Fallujah. Up to 300 soldiers were killed there. Reports their calls for help were ignored by their senior leadership. I mean, it's got to raise all sorts of concerns for you about how effective the Iraqi military can be, even down the road. I mean, it's not, I can't imagine it's that easy to turn around an army this size and actually get them battle ready, all the amount of time, all the amount of money and equipment that the United States has given them thus far.
Well, the clue was what your previous guest said. Underneath those political patronage generals are a corps of professional officers. If they will elevate them, we have to depend on going after ISIS on the Iraqi army plus the Peshmerga up in the Kurdish area. And if you're going to root ISIS out, we can do all the strikes from here until kingdom come in the air, but you've got to have them rooting them out on the ground. General Austin, by the way, has the coalition going, and I think last night's strikes are quite symbolic of that. There were more coalition aircraft than there were U.S. aircraft, and lo and behold, the coalition aircraft were led by a female pilot from the UAE. She was the lead pilot.
The other kind of piece in all this is trying to peel away some of these Sunni tribes who are now supporting ISIS, who back in 2006, 2007, the U.S. was successful in getting them to step away from supporting al-Qaeda in Iraq. Do you see that as something the U.S. is actually going to have a role in doing in terms of U.S. advisors meeting with these tribes, or is that something that's going to be left up to the Iraqis, left up to Saudi Arabia and other of our coalition partners?
To be determined. The hope is that the new prime minister in Iraq is going to be able to have an inclusive government that will ultimately bring the Sunni tribal leaders back into the fold to realize they have more to fear from ISIS than they do from the sectarian Shiites in the Iraqi government. You go into Syria, you have a different thing, but we've got to take care of business in Iraq before we can start cleaning ISIS out in Syria, although we've started it very successfully, I might add, going after their oil refining capabilities, so going after their money. That's been successful in Syria.
How confident are you in this new Iraqi prime minister? Because I mean, so far he's been publicly saying all the right things, but just today he claims that there's an ISIS plot targeting American subways, which multiple officials from the White House administration and law enforcement tell CNN they know of no such plot against the subways. What do you make of that?
Well, he's not only the best hope we have, he's the only hope we have for the Iraqi military to get its house in order for their government as well. So, again, the answer to your question, Anderson, to be determined.
All right, Senator Bill Nelson, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anderson.